2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I was making videos, it was so hard for me to listen to the advice of, oh, you just have to put out shitty videos and you'll grow and become better. Because you spent 5, 6, a whole day maybe even editing a video because you're not familiar with the software. It takes a long time to think about titles and thumbnails and all that stuff that goes into a video just to put it out there and get 13 views. Okay, do it again next week, get 10 views. Holy shit, it's very, very tough to keep going. But it flipped for me in that moment when I was watching these videos because, man, those videos were bad. But now I get those videos as a point of reference for what I create today. The videos I create today are by no means very high production. Still a long ways from your favorite YouTubers, like my favorite YouTubers, like Nick Bear, Daniel Dahlin. But I get the videos today and compare them to what I made 2 years ago, and so much has improved. The thumbnail has improved. The titles have improved. I've added music, and that has improved. Different videoing and filming techniques, that has improved the video. My delivery and communication techniques has improved. It holistically has gone in the right direction. And I want to bring this up specifically for the small and new YouTubers because, or really anyone starting a new skill, because in that moment, it's so tough to go into that trough, in that pain point, and say, I'm gonna suck at this, but I'm gonna keep going. But there's no other easy way to go about it. To get to a better state, you have to go through a state of lacking knowledge, lacking skills, lacking the ability to compete before you get to a higher point. And it's really rewarding when you get to that higher point, especially because you get to look back at where you were and compare to that. It's not about comparing where you are and then some of these greats that can do what you can times 10, but you look back at where you came from and you can point to real meaningful progress. I think that's super meaningful and something that you shouldn't forget about. All right, we are out doing some prep for Hyrox tomorrow. Got myself some gels. David and I went up to check out the venue yesterday, and I realized I probably wanted some fuel along the way. It's always shitty when you hit the moment of not having enough energy. So prepping in advance. Honey stingers are my go-to. I've tried a bunch of these. Stingers, goo, the super organic and natural ones, and I find the honey stinger ones to be my favorite. It works for me. Looks like they came out with these new salted caramel latte. It's got 70 grams of caffeine, whereas these normal ones are 32. So I'm gonna grab a couple just to try. It's gonna be a lot of running this summer, so we'll have no shortage of plenty of opportunities to try these. Grab some of these. Just a bunch of different ones.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. Training for anything?
Got Hyrox tomorrow, but I don't know what's next. But
Nice.
generally run in and just keep it fit.
Nice.
Do you train for anything? Do you train for anything?
No, I don't have anything coming up.
No.
I think probably just gonna do a half marathon.
Half marathon. Nice.
Are you a member with us? Bigger,
That'll be
better
fun.
things.
Yeah, that'll be perfect. Excellent. Thank you.
Here we go.
Yo, I'm walking by this street right now, and it reminds me of when I first moved here to New York. I didn't have any pictures, and I was looking to take some pictures of myself, and I'll throw up a picture of what I was doing. I was throwing up a tripod on the street. This was like 3 years ago. Super shy, knew nobody, and walking by reminded me of that moment because it was an interesting turning point for me, I think, of like doing crazy stuff in public, having people watch me. Like, had a little clicker to take pictures that connected to my phone, had a tripod set up like literally in the middle of the sidewalk. And I look back at it, and it was super nerve-wracking in the moment. I remember the feeling. But dude, 4 years has passed. Everybody that saw me in that street that day, I've never seen them ever again. And I think puts into perspective how silly we make like all of this scene. Look, I'm filming right now. Literally no one is even looking at me. And I get asked all the time, oh, how do you build the confidence to film, especially in public? I think there's no rosy and perfect answer or a very sophisticated answer. It's literally just, dude, nobody cares. Everyone is living in their own world. Look, everybody doing their own thing. Don't worry about it. All right, what is up, fellas? It is Sunday, June 1st, 7:10, and it's officially race day. Having a toasted bagel with eggs right now to get fueled up. It's one of the rare times I'll have anything on a bagel. Usually I just eat it plain, but this is an important race, and some mate to get some caffeine in the system. I was thinking last night about this race, and it's exciting because I think there's a certain level of uncertainty in this race. As doubles, David and I haven't really trained together much through this process, and so we haven't tested what we're good at, what we're not good at, and what we're gonna split up. We decided yesterday that we would just talk through the whole race, and when we needed to switch off, we would switch off. And so that's the plan of attack going in, just really strong communication and talking through the entire race. And there's pros and cons, I think, to that. You could prepare better or not, but I'm excited to see how all that plays out. I know in training, I generally take a much more conservative approach. I generally don't push myself unless there's a reason to. And so I think my fitness is probably a little bit higher than what I make it out to be. And I think this is a really exciting opportunity for the both of us to test that out and see where we go. We're not coordinated per se, but I think we're both in a very good physical shape to be able to tackle the race. All right, I'm gonna get going, chowing on this. 7:11 right now. We're gonna get going at like 7:30, get up there at 8 o'clock, warm up, and get ready to rock and roll at 8:50. Peace. All right, we made it. It's a chilly 54 degrees here. Feeling a little bit colder than we expected, but the top's definitely still coming off. We're basking in the sun. Getting in a little last bit of fuel before we go. Get in and warm up. About 30 minutes till race time. Gatorade and Belgium, all reliable. David's over there, coming in. We're gonna leave the bag in the check-in. So it's not gonna be much content in there, but I'll recap you guys when we come out. All right, fellas, we are back post-race. Unfortunately, as expected, there's not a lot of filming content from the event, but I'll throw up whatever pictures that I have here so that you guys can take a look. But man, absolutely incredible event. Had so much fun. David and I ended up running 109.59, which was under 110, which I think is great. I think we're very happy with that. We think it's a very reasonable time for our first event and for the amount of training that we did. So there were probably places where we could have shaved a couple minutes, but overall not upset about that. It was pretty annoying at the end. The wall balls, they're such a stickler for form. And so they say you only have to do 9 degrees, but they're basically telling you to go ass to grass. We probably lost a dozen reps, give or take a couple minutes on that event, but not gonna complain. I had a lot of fun, so that's just, it is what it is. Now that the adrenaline has rolled off, I totally feel it in my legs. It's such a lower body dominant competition, and my hamstrings are definitely feeling it right now. So today's just gonna be all about recovery, taking it very chill. Probably gonna hit the sauna, then go see my massage therapist, do some body work. I do body work every single week, and I think, frankly, that's one of the most important reasons why I've stayed injury-free and kept all of that bad stuff away during this training sessions, because I prioritized recovery and did body work. So gonna go see her later and just try to put myself in a good recovery position. Part of the reason why I'm so proud and happy of completing this event and competing in Hyrox is because for me, it's a demonstration that despite working a really demanding job, there is still time to be allocated for other things that you find important. You guys have seen here, there are days where I work 20 hours and there's really just no other time besides work and sleep. But because I think my schedule is so demanding in that way, it has helped me prioritize things by saying no to the things that really don't rank high up on the prioritization. So family is very high up there. The little time that I have left over, I'm gonna dedicate to family. The other time that I have over is gonna be left for health and fitness. That's also very important for me. And so stuff that doesn't rank as high, for example, friends that I have a very weak connection with, those I force myself to say no to. And so it was proving to myself that despite having to spend a lot of time in the office, you make the most of what you have. And for me, I have maybe 1 or 2 days in the gym, and that's that, but I make the most of it. I think there's not gonna be much more going on rest of the day. I'm gonna sit here, really prioritize recovery, eat. My watch says I burn 800 calories, so I'm really gonna try to put food in my body, hydration, electrolytes, and really prioritize that. Do recovery, go see my massage therapist, do sauna, and I've got a date later tonight. It's the first date with a girl that I met a couple weeks ago, so I'm gonna try to prepare myself mentally as best as possible for that. Maybe down a couple glasses of wine before I see her, but otherwise, not too much. It's Sunday, just gonna prepare for another strong work week ahead. So maybe wrap it up here unless there's a good update for you guys later tonight. Otherwise, peace. Catch you guys next week.